Hello and welcome to My Left Ear. I'm Carrie Freeman. My Left Ear is a liberal YouTube channel where I do political and psychic commentary, and I use the runes and my left ear. So the meaning of my left ear is that I get a lot of intuitive information from this side, and I combine it with runes readings also. I'm Carrie Freeman. This is video 126, and this is a momentous day. This is the day, the last day of voting for the midterms. And anybody who cares is kind of white knuckling it today. I'm hoping to bring some calm to the situation, a little perspective. That's my agenda today. Now, anything about me and books that I've written are below in the description section. And I will post above in the community section too, so you can reach out for a private reading, coaching, hypnosis, etc. And there are videos on my psychic coaching. Please take a look. All right, as I always say, for entertainment purposes only, and a quick mention is that I will be presenting a new Patreon video tomorrow with runes 17 and 18, which is we're really making progress, and a celebrity story. All right, so here we go. Now I'm starting this a little differently today, and it blew up on me, so I got to get it back to my 200%. This happens a lot. So I'm starting with a little philosophy today, and just stay with me and you'll see where I'm going, because it's meant to be very helpful. And I do have one major rune question in a few minutes, all right? So here we go. Here's a little story. It has to do with Stoicism philosophy. So let me start this story. A CEO calls her staff into the conference room on the eve of the launch of a major new initiative. They file in and take their seats around the table. She calls the meeting to attention and begins. And she says, "I have bad news. The project has failed spectacularly. What went wrong?" Well, the team is perplexed. What? But we haven't even launched yet. What is she talking about, right? Now, more reading. I know it seems strange and maybe even counterproductive to demand that employees think negatively instead of optimistically, but in business circles today, everyone from startups to Fortune 500 companies and the Harvard Business Review are doing the exact exercise. So in a direct response to optimism, feel-good thinking, these leaders are encouraging their employees to think negatively. Stay with me. The technique that the CEO above was using was designed by psychologist Gary Klein. It's called pre-mortem. In a pre-mortem, a project manager must envision what could go wrong, what will go wrong in advance, before starting. Now, why? Far too many ambitious undertakings fail for preventable reasons. Far too many people don't have a backup plan because they refuse to consider that something might not go exactly as they wish. Now you're warming up, right? Where I'm getting to. So this has to do with the meditations of famous Stoic Marcus Aurelius. So this helps us prepare. The topic of this article is called negative visualization. The main reference to this concept in the book is found in the first verse of chapter 2, where Marcus Aurelius recommends starting each day by coming to terms with the fact that negative people and circumstances are quite likely to come your way and that you must be prepared to face them. Well, Carrie, me, I feel this is extremely relevant to right now when we have the GOP forces, which are, I want to say evil, bad, destructive, and hurtful. So it's relevant right now. How do we deal with, how do we come to terms with what may not happen? So it says, the advice is, begin each day telling yourself that you'll be meeting interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. All of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil. What do you think? All right. What is negative visualization and how does it help me? Negative visualization refers to the act of visualizing not just the most optimistic, but also the most pessimistic outcome possible in every situation and being prepared to deal with it. So there are two aspects here. Firstly, you come to terms with the fact that you are most definitely going to run into negative people. It's inevitable. It is better to be prepared than not. It's Murphy's Law. Given enough chances, every possible outcome will unfold itself. Anything that can happen will happen. All right. Secondly, you must embrace the fact that circumstances are beyond your control and that there is a higher controlling power. And I get to this in a moment with the serenity prayer. God, nature's order, the universe, however it is you prefer to refer to it, that controls which situations you are in, and that no situation he puts you in can ever be bad for you. Sometimes a little trouble and pain is what he wants you to face because that is what might be right for you. So we need to hold that possibility to protect our psyche, our hearts, etc., etc. And I wanted to bring this to you today because the next 24 to 48 hours will probably be very intense. Now, here's a few things from my left ear that I want to say. If myself, me, my left ear, and others, other readers, are wrong about a blue House and Senate, we have 2 very difficult years, but my left ear says it will benefit 2024. There will be easy wins because the GOP, God forbid, it's not my prediction, but if they get in with the House, take the majority in Congress, they will make just tremendous chaos and trouble. They'll try to impeach. They'll try to pass ending Social Security. Biden will never sign these, by the way. But so I do want to say to you, we can survive. The Democrats are very strong, and the Democratic leaders are amazing. 2 difficult years, and easily win the presidency and both houses in 2024, because that's how bad the Republicans would mess up should they win. And then more about Marcus Aurelius. I've read some. I'm not an expert on Stoicism. I love it. I find it very comforting and intelligent. But in reading it, it reminds me, it makes me think this is where the serenity prayer in AA, in all the AA programs, comes from, because there's the reminder of what we cannot control, and that goes all the way back to the Stoics, and of course the wisdom to know the difference. So I'm sitting here today and I'm saying, I voted, I get on my YouTube, I do Twitter, I share valuable information, but can I control this outcome? No, I can't. Neither can you. So that's the wisdom of knowing the difference. And that is the wisdom of having that plan B. All right, if it doesn't work out for us, let's talk about what we're going to do in our activism. All right. So that hopefully is a little comforting to you. Here's a side note about Clarence Thomas and why emails were discovered where John Eastman and the GOP sent emails saying, we will put this through Georgia, and most likely we will get Clarence Thomas to sign on and he'll help us, blah, blah, blah. Well, Glenn Kirshner wrote, misresolved. Why did Lindsey Graham, a senator from South Carolina, urge Secretary of State Raffensperger in Georgia to toss out lawfully cast ballots in Georgia? Why? Well, we found out. Because emergency appeals out of Georgia are handled by Clarence Thomas. So it just continued to put Clarence Thomas in this position of supporting sedition and supporting the big lie. And more's going to come out on Clarence Thomas and Ginny Thomas. It's a little slow in rolling out, but my left ear is telling you there's going to be a lot more. All right, so here's where I did throw the runes for today. I asked this one question. Will we see chaos following the midterms? So I got the first rune was the rune of possessions and nourishment. And it is called Feihu. It's a rune of fulfillment, ambition satisfied, love shared. It promises nourishment from the most worldly to the divine. This rune calls for the meaning of profit and gain in your life. And when I say this, I feel like I'm talking to the Democrats. Regarding a Democratic win, enjoy your good fortune and share it. So what leads to the chaos is, in my interpretation today, is that the Dems maintain the House and the Senate. Maybe not by a lot, but they do, all right? And it leads to the chaos. So this is like logical. Then the next rune is a rune of protection. And it advises control of emotions is at issue. That would be the control of the Republicans' emotions at losing. It says during times of transition, it is important not to collapse yourself into emotions, which of course they will. They will have tantrums, they're going to have fits. But the Democrats must remain calm. New opportunities and challenges are typical of the rune of protection. And there may come many trespasses and unwanted influences, meaning lawsuits and chaos, all right? Then the last rune for this question about chaos following the midterms is the rune of flow, which is water, but it is in the reversed position today. And it says, and it warns, unseen powers are active here. And I want to say, no blank, Sherlock, right? Flow reversed cautions against overreach and aggressive striving. Again, the Republicans. This is a warning against trying to exceed your own strength. Flow in the reverse indicates a failure to draw upon the wisdom of instincts and can lead to languishing and feeling out of balance. It's the next 2 or 3 days are so serious and crucial. I have wanted to be careful about overpromising, overpredicting. I'm still leaning, I just want you to know, I am still leaning that the Democrats will not lose the House and the Senate. This is how I'm leaning. And I'm picking out pieces of data from, the cosmos. This is part of what happens with me and my left ear. Some of it is common sense, some of it is data, and then the intuition takes over. So that's where I'm coming from. I just don't want to overpromise with you because this is all so serious right now. And now I have some new bites, which are part of my reason for a little bit of optimism. But I am practicing Stoicism today. I am. Here's something for you to think about. In 2018, Ohio, this is for early voting only. The Republicans were at 44.7% in early voting, and the Democrats, this is 2018, were at 42.4%. Now, in 2022, the Dems are way up with early voting at 44.1%, and the Republicans in Ohio, 39.2%. It's dropped. Now we're going to move on to Georgia. 2018, Republicans showed up early to vote at 49.4%, to the Democrats, 44.8%. But 2022, different. The Democrats are up to 49% in early voting, and the Republicans are down 41.2% in Georgia for early voting. Got two more. 2018, Wisconsin, Republicans early voted 44.9%, and the Democrats were much lower at 35.1%. Cut to 2022, the Democrats at least are leading in Michigan by 3 points. It's actually way up. It doesn't sound like much, but it's way up from 2018. And the bummer is Florida. 2018, Republicans showed up early to vote, 48.5%. The Democrats were 46.1%. 2022, the Republicans lead. The Republicans showing up early in Florida now is at 50.4%, while the Democrats inexplicably are at 43.08. So there's some really good news here. Florida is our problem child. I didn't throw the runes today, but I'm not feeling good about Florida, and I don't understand how the people in Florida, and I apologize to any of you, although if you're tuning into me, you're definitely Democrat. I just don't get Florida. But here we go. All right, now here's some more sound bites. So I copied and pasted this, all right? And so I'm just sharing it with you. As Donald Trump inches closer to launching another presidential run after the midterms, the Justice Department officials have discussed whether a Trump candidacy would create the need for a special counsel to oversee two sprawling federal investigations related to the former president. And this is according to CNN. Many people that I respect are against the assignment of special counsels to oversee. Too time consuming. And it's more pandering to fear of Donald Trump. And then the Justice Department is also staffing up its investigations with experienced prosecutors so it's ready for any decisions after the midterms. Good sign, including the potential unprecedented move of indicting a former president. All right, that's the information I'm sharing today. And, I'll be back. I'm going to do Patreon tomorrow. I'll see what happens tonight. I'm either going to come back to you on late tomorrow or Thursday when I can gather some juicy information to talk to you about. I'm going to go into good evidence, okay? I'm going to share a picture. I think I have a picture of this man that I'm going to talk about in the good evidence. So I'm just reading what the Twitter was, all right? It's just such a sweet. Henlo Friends. It sounds like a German name, possibly. This is my dad, and there was a picture. And I want to brag about him. When my brother was at the vet for checkup, a lady was there. Now, her brother evidently is a cat or a dog, okay? A lady was there and had to help her kitty over the Rainbow Bridge. She was very sad, very distraught. As my dad left with my brother, he paid her bill for her without telling the woman. He needed no glory. He just paid her bill. Beautiful. And if I can find that picture of this wonderful dad, I will put it up in my community section. But thank you, Mr. Friends, F-R-E-N-Z. All right, now I got some quotes, a couple of quotes today. This quote is uncanny because you could say it's about Donald Trump, but it's not. It's from a book called Red Dragon that was published a long time ago, and they made it into a film, a thriller like Silence of the Lambs called Manhunter, okay? So a quote from the book is, "My heart bleeds for him as a child. Someone took a kid and manufactured a monster. At the same time, as an adult, he's irredeemable." Just stunning how that sounds like Donald Trump. All right. This quote is by famed, groundbreaking psychologist Carl Jung. He said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, in order to avoid facing their own soul." This feels very current also. That's why I'm sharing it with you. And then this quote is by Dr. Jack Brown, and I follow him on Twitter. And he is a specialist in human behavior and reading body language and facial language. He's a PhD, he's a doctor. So this made me think of what Paul Pelosi just went through, being attacked with a hammer, having surgery, and will have more surgeries. But also the GOP response, which has been extraordinarily harsh and cold and cruel about this attack and the intended attack on Nancy Pelosi. This was his quote, very simple. "When Republicans demonize empathy, they exalt sadism." It's true. So they are exalting sadism. All right, my friends, I hope this sunk in. I hope this helps you a little bit today. Just know we'll have resources. If I am incorrect, we will have resources, and we have some superstars in the Democratic Party that are on the rise. Just my last reminder is we have some incredible leaders in our Democrats, really extraordinarily wholesome, spiritually, intellectually, morally wonderful, and they're rising. And next time we talk, I'll give you the names. These people are rising, all right? We can't say that much for the Republicans. So keep the faith. Maybe keep yourself busy. I'm going to cook a big casserole today. I need comfort food. And I will talk to you soon. I'll be back tomorrow with Patreon. So make peace, make good memories. And that's it for now. Okay? Big smile. Big smile. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hold the faith.